Boom! My name is Baba Wealth the Pandit, and this is BWATV. BWATV, we are road to 100,000 subscribers. And we also want to say a special thanks to my channel members. May God perfect that which concerns you, and also my super stickers and my super chatters upward and forward only. BWATV, we love you. Blessings. Let's get sporty with BWATV.
Wow. How are you doing? Trusting you are blessed of the Lord and you are in great health wherever you are watching us from. This is BWATV. We are here again to talk about the beautiful game. This weekend, Arsenal traveling to Man United, Old Trafford. It has not been a good hunting ground for the Gunners. One win out of 16. The last win coming in of November of the year 2020. You remember that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang penalty. That was the last win Arsenal managed to win at Old Trafford. Also on Tuesday, remember, we have a big one. Tottenham Hotspur against Man City. But on Saturday, early kickoff, we have Man City playing Fulham on another London team. What will this weekend unfold for us? Because, you know, EPL games, anything comes by, anything can go. You never know what will happen in these APL teams. My name is Baba the Pandit, and I keep your county favorite pandit, and this is BWATV. And we are here to talk about the beautiful game with our host, Kosi. This guy, I tell you, he is a big house. And we are going to enjoy the day with him. So, you tell us which team you support on the comment section. Let us know which team you support and where you see your team finishing in the next 2 or 3 matches to come. In a few minutes, we are going to have Kosi and we are going to discuss the beautiful game with me, Baba the Pandit.
Boom! My name is Baba Wealth the Pandit, and this is BWATV. BWATV, we are road to 100,000 subscribers. And we also want to say a special thanks to my channel members. May God perfect that which concerns you, and also my super stickers and my super chatters upward and forward only. BWATV, we love you. Blessings. Let's get sporty with BWATV. Boom! My name is Baba Wealth the Pandit, and this is BWATV. BWATV, we are road to 100,000 subscribers. And we also want to say a special thanks to my channel members. May God perfect that which concerns you, and also my super stickers and my super chatters upward and forward only. BWATV, we love you. Blessings. Let's get sporty with BWATV. Boom! My name is Baba Wealth the Pandit, and this is BWATV. BWATV, we are road to 100,000 subscribers. And we also want to say a special thanks to my channel members. May God perfect that which concerns you, and also my super stickers and my super chatters upward and forward only. BWATV, we love you. Blessings. Let's get sporty with BWATV. Boom! My name is Baba Wealth the Pandit, and this is BWATV. BWATV, we are road to 100,000 subscribers. And we also want to say a special thanks to my channel members. May God perfect that which concerns you, and also my super stickers and my super chatters upward and forward only. BWATV, we love you. Blessings. Let's get sporty with BWATV.
Yes, sporty with BWATV. Freedom Honors, thank you for coming. I see you. Remember to thumbs up this video. Share if you can, and also tell us on the comment section where you see your team finishing at the end of the season. 2 or some teams have 2 games to go, others 3 games to go. Arsenal playing Man United on Sunday, 6:30 Kenyan time, East African time. That one, I tell you, it's going to be a big one game for Arsenal. It is a must win game for them, and it's a must win for them you cannot bottle this one. You cannot try to bottle this one as Arsenal. It's a must win. We have to win that one. I don't know how Mikel is going to prepare his team, because Man United trying to play that, what you call might games already, and some injuries to worry against Man United, because they have injuries to worry, and you don't know if it's a might game or it's they are really injured. So can Fulham do the job for us? And it will on Saturday early kickoff. Fulham in their almost a decade now, they have not managed to get a point against Man City, the current champions. They have not managed to get a point against Man City, the current champions. So this one is uh, many people arguing and saying we wait for Arsenal to for Man City to play their game against on Tuesday against Tottenham. This is where they struggle to manage a point. Actually, City have not managed to get any point against Man City. This since City have not managed to get a point against Tottenham since Tottenham went started move from White Hart Lane to the new stadium. They have not managed to get a point there. So I don't know how this one is going to look, and I don't know which side of Tottenham. Remember, Tottenham are rivals to Arsenal, and them being rivals, it's hard for them to maybe give Arsenal points. They don't want to see their rivals taking the cup or something like that. So, but when you look at it, Tottenham, they still want to play European football next season. So they will try to perform on that match and try to see if they get points, because if Aston Villa slip and drop points, Tottenham knows they have a chance to get into next season UEFA Champions League. But for now, as it stands, they are in a position to go to Europa League next season. So for Tottenham, it's either they win points or they fail to get a point to make sure they play next season UEFA Champions League. But what worries Arsenal fans is the form of Tottenham. They have lost their last 4 games. They lost to Chelsea, lost to Arsenal. They lost to Newcastle. Their last 4 games, they have struggled to win any game. So are they going to lose their 5th consecutive game of the season in a season, or will they win this and that so that they can take so that they can be in the next season Champions League? We also trying to look at Arsenal form, Man United form when they play against Arsenal on Saturday, Sunday. Arsenal, like I said earlier, they have struggled to beat Man United at Old Trafford since 2020. That was the last time they won a game in 2020, where they Aubameyang penalty. Since then, Arsenal, you look at Arsenal last season, they lost 3-1. I don't know why they lost that game. They were not to lose that game at Old Trafford. Anthony scoring his first goal for Manchester United. It was a tricky game. No reason. I don't understand why Arsenal lost that game, actually. It was a game for Arsenal to win. So, it, before that season, before that season, they also lost a goal to nil, 3-2. You try to understand why Smith Rowe did not score that goal, and already De Gea was on the floor. Before and another that for that game now, it's where we won that penalty. It's a game that you don't know how the outcome. You don't know which side of Man City are going to, Manchester United are going to turn off, because they have few injuries to worry about. And the injuries, I'm telling you, Lisandro Martinez is not there. He is one of the best defenders when it comes to Manchester United. He is one of the best defenders. You cannot take away that one. From there, Manchester United, Rashford is back. Bruno Fernandes is back. In terms of people who are missing due to injuries, Bruno Fernandes is also available in that game. For Arsenal, is this the best time for Arsenal to face United? They have no injuries. Wallis Takahiro Temiyasu injury was people are a little bit worried about him, but he is available on that left back slot. Timber is back from that injury. Remember, Julian Timber managed to get just to play just one game on the first game against Crystal Palace, and from there he gets that injury, long-term injury, 8 months out of the season, and now he is back. So I think Arsenal have no excuses. Mikel, it depends with the team that Mikel is going to choose and select tomorrow. But I feel Mikel should stand with the team that played against Chelsea, the team that played against Bournemouth. Those are the team that he should still go on and stay with them in terms of trying to manage a win. So as we wait for our guest, we can continue interacting in the chats, and also tell us which team you support and where you feel your team is going to finish in the league this season. And here he is. So without much further ado, we are going to start this right away. Hello, Kosi. I don't know if you can hear me. How is your side, bro?
Hi, Baba. How are you doing? I can hear you very well.
Yeah.
I hope you're doing very well as well.
I'm doing perfectly well, but the weather here is cold, man.
Sorry about
We have
that.
been experiencing heavy rains. How is your side?
I'm
How is
okay.
Kampala?
Kampala is fine. Kampala is fine actually. The rain is gone, so we are a little bit, okay. As long as life moves on, it's fine. Kampala is okay.
Yeah, as long as that we are in good health,
Yeah,
you're fine.
yeah, I'm very fine.
So, welcome to BWTV. My name is Baba Wealth, and we are going to talk about Arsenal. My channel is normally we only talk about Arsenal and Arsenal fixtures, Arsenal transfers. So you can only maybe introduce yourselves, then we can start it.
Hi guys, my name is Kosi from the Kosi Arsenal podcast. I'm one of the Arsenal content creators in Africa, but also the one and only content creator in Uganda for Arsenal. So you can follow me on the Kosi Arsenal podcast on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok as well. And Baba here is my very good friend. So I'm so happy to meet one of the Arsenal fans that are creating content, and I look forward to creating a lot of content with you, Baba. I hope you are, I hope you're open to that. I think I've met with Glenn. I don't know if you know Glenn Kitely, Everything Football. He's also from Kenya, and he creates a lot of Arsenal content as well. He's a very good friend of mine and a very good friend of the channel as well.
No, I have not met Glenn. I
Yeah.
have not met Glenn. Yeah, but now that you have mentioned, I'm going to look uh, about to see what he does. You mentioned you are the only Ugandan guy who does Arsenal content.
Well, I have a couple of friends who are making sports content, but they are making a lot of general football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Here in Kenya, I guess I have seen a few guys, others who are doing also some content. We have done with few who also maybe do Chelsea, Man United, but most of them who maybe we have shared on live stream are Arsenal fans.
Ah, okay.
Okay, now we can start it, and I want us to talk about before we get into Arsenal fixture against Chelsea against Man United on
Man
Sunday.
United. Mm.
Yeah, tell me, what do you think of Fulham against Man City? Because that will be early kickoff tomorrow.
Well, I've seen a few people kind of hyping the vibe around Fulham as as a good team, and I think it's Arsenal fans trying to find a bit of hope. What I think about Fulham, for me personally, I think they're a well-educated side under under Marco Silva. I think they're a decent side, but if you want me to say that I can trust them and I can give them a task as heavy as going to stop Man City from taking 3 points. That's a very difficult task for a club like Fulham. Now, I like them. There are a couple of players I like there. I like Joe Palhinha. I would even take him at Arsenal. I think he's a very, good guy in terms of that, defensive midfield. Moniz, the new striker they have, has taken the Premier League by storm. I think he's a real talent. And then you've got a mixture of, talent and a mixture of hard work in that team. But their league position and their statistics actually tell it all. They have scored 51 goals. They have conceded 55. They're your average mid-table team. Now, can they cause an upset against Man City? Definitely they can. I mean, football is football. Anything can happen. We've not beaten them this season, by the way. They beat us at the Craven Cottage and we drew 2-2 at the Emirates Stadium. So that shows you that they're a real side and they could cause, an upset. But at this point in time, Man City are not, are not that team. We have seen them. We know how they actually roll. In the last 5 games, last 10 games of the campaign, they lost a game in December. It would be a heavy task, a very heavy ask for us to ask Fulham to go and, despite the fact that they're at the Craven Cottage, to take points off Man City. It's a difficult one, and I think with City, they have created a formidable force. If they concede, it's by real luck. And even if they concede one, they will score two. They've got the ability to score two. Fulham, on average, have been conceding an average of 2 goals per 90. City have got the ability to score 3 goals per 90. I think Fulham will concede, but will they score on the other end? You look at what Guardiola has done in terms of his defense. I know we talk about the Arsenal defense, and we have been really good defensively, but that Manchester City backline, huge guys, RK, Diaz, Kai Walker. It's not a very, very easy backline to navigate if you are an average team like Fulham. So I think because they have nothing to lose, it will be an interesting fixture. I said this yesterday on the live stream that Arsenal against Man United will be the easier opponent. Will have the easier opponent, and Man City will have the harder opponent because with Fulham at the moment, I think they're better than Man United. They are organized. They have nothing to lose. They have already secured that safe spot in the Premier League next season. And that is something that they work for. That is something they've worked for. That's something that they've tried to achieve. So if they come and stop Man City and decide who wins the title, that is going to be a bit of overachieving. I wouldn't rely on them, honestly. I wouldn't rely on Fulham. I wouldn't rely on West Ham. I'm going to still say that because Man City have not scored a single goal at Tottenham, that could be the psychological block that actually, dictates what happens out of the title race. But at the moment, I wouldn't necessarily say that, Fulham are the team I'm banking on. Anything can happen in football, but I would give them a 2 out of 10 chance to stop Man City for us. 2 out of 10.
I'm looking at this Fulham side and how they have performed in their last 5, 6, 7, 8 games. They have won 2 games against in their last, I guess, 9 games. And ironically, like I said earlier, the 2 games were against Tottenham and against West Ham, the 2 teams that Arsenal are relying on. So, like you have put it, they stand no chance against Man City I agree that, and I agree on that. But football, anything can happen in
Yeah,
football.
football is
Who knew
football.
that Crystal Palace would come and beat full Liverpool?
Yeah,
Who knew that? Who thought that we could drop points against teams like Aston Villa? Yes, Aston Villa are
Aston
doing
Villa.
well,
Yeah.
but you never thought they could come and beat us
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Emirates.
Actually, if you look at Aston Villa's run after beating Arsenal, they've really struggled. They've lost to Brighton, they've lost home and away to Olympiacos, and you're like, how did we even lose a game to this side?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, for them, depending, it's on an early kickoff. What I would require, and from Fulham, if they don't get points against Man City, the champions,
Mm.
can you give me a better goal difference? Don't be that 4 or 5 goals, because we are also relying on the goal difference. At least
Yeah.
lose to 1-2 or 2-0, yeah, which is okay with the Arsenal fans. Now, we can now focus on Arsenal versus Man United because when you finish that, I also want us to look at Tottenham against
Man
Man
City.
City on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Or should we first of all finish Tottenham against Man City?
Now we can first talk about the Man United game because I think it's as important as the Tottenham games. Both of them are important. So we could start with the Man United one because what comes out of the Manchester United game determines what we need from Tottenham in midweek.
Absolutely. So, Arsenal, they have been in a good form. Man
Mm.
United at home, they have conceded a lot of goals this season, and at home they have lost five times. They lost with against. They have lost 5 times this season at home, and also at home they have conceded a lot of goals. The goals that you don't expect the Man United to be conceding at home.
Mm.
Can
Sure.
Arsenal go there and do the job?
I think psychologically, it's a place that we don't win at. It's a place that is very difficult for Arsenal to go to. In the last 16 games, Arsenal have drawn there 5 times, won there once, and lost 10 times. That only shows you how difficult the Old Trafford is. And it's not just about Arsenal, it's about all other clubs when it comes to going to Old Trafford. It's one of the well respected stadiums, it's one of the well respected roads to travel to. Man United are really really difficult at home. But this season, it's a little bit different. They're falling away. They're falling apart. There was a time when they were in the top four discussion. I think that was around. Was it around? November. They were around the top
Yeah.
four discussion, and we all thought maybe they could make it to the top four, but they have really fallen apart. And I think this is a massive opportunity for us as Arsenal and Arsenal fans. One, to beat Manchester United. We beat them in 2020, struck 2021. But that was
Yeah.
that was a little bit of a COVID period where the fans were not in the stadium and all that. So it's time for
Yes.
us to go and create history at the Old Trafford. Can Arsenal go and do the job? Well, I've not had any evidence to suggest otherwise that this team cannot do the job. I think we're very much different from what we saw last campaign. In the last 5 games or 8 games of the last campaign, we kind of fell away. Brighton, Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Liverpool leading games and then drawing them eventually. I think this team is a little bit different. We've gone to the Water Lane for a second season in the running, and we have picked up 3 points. Last season we did, this season we have. So I think the mentality for this team is different. I've seen Mikel Arteta's press conference, and he said I kind of feel he feels that he's going to win the title. I don't know where he gets the confidence. I would love to know, but he says he feels he's going to win the title. So when you factor into the changes that have happened at Arsenal, especially in terms of progression, we have become a much better side. And on the same rate, Manchester United have declined from who they were last campaign to who they are now. I think Arsenal are a much better side, and Man United are a much poorer side than they were last campaign. So for me, Arsenal must be able to do the job. We don't have an excuse not to go out there against Man United. And for me, it should be like I said yesterday. I think Arsenal should use this opportunity to go 3 goals to nil at the Old Trafford and probably keep a clean sheet as well. It would be a beautiful performance for you to have a win capped with a with a clean sheet and a comfortable victory. If if you can't beat Man United right now, and Crystal Palace can put four past them, and Brentford can equalize against them in the dying minutes, and Burnley can get a point against them at the Old Trafford. If you can't go there and get points, yet you're the best defensive side in the Premier League, you're one of the best attacking sides in the Premier League, you're going to score more goals than we did last campaign, then we don't deserve to win the Premier League. We must be able to psychologically, emotionally, physically, output this Manchester United side. I don't see any other way Arsenal can actually, fail to win this game. There is no excuse for me.
On the comment section, I see Vision, who is actually a Man United fan. He says they turn up whenever they know they are playing Arsenal. And that made me. Marcus Rashford on his debut was against Arsenal, and that time Man United had a lot of injury worries. And that game, if I remember well, they beat us, and Rashford scored a brace. Yeah. Is this time for Man United to turn up? And because they know they are playing, they are not that. It's not a derby, but it is a rivalry. There's a rivalry between Arsenal. Yeah, there's a rivalry between Arsenal and Man United. Should they turn up? Do you think they are going to turn up and frustrate us?
Well, I tell you, rivalries and derbies, create a very different atmosphere and different occasion. If you've watched Arsenal, Man United, if you've watched Everton, Liverpool, if you've watched Tottenham, Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, these are different games. Regardless of how poor a team is, they suddenly spring into life. They suddenly try to turn up. And I think that's what Manchester United did, right? And Manchester City will be hoping that is what happens. And I think Man United, after at the back of that loss, they will try to fight back. They'll try to show their fans that we are better than this, right? They've lost 13 games this campaign. That is the worst record they've had in a very, very long time. So I think if you're a Manchester United fan out there, you're thinking we will come to frustrate Arsenal. But the problem with Man United is this season. When they, back in the days, under Sir Alexander Chairman Ferguson, Mourinho, and a couple of other, managerial sessions they've had, they did have good managers who were able to put together a good 11. So you look at Van Gaal, you look at Mourinho, you look at Sir Alexander Chairman Ferguson. He could put together a good 11 to intentionally stop Arsenal. I don't think Erik ten Hag is capable of that. Erik ten Hag is more of an Ange Postecoglou. He wants to play what he believes in, not what is going to affect the game, not what he doesn't want to change for one opponent. He wants to play his own style. And I think that's the first L Manchester United is going to find. If it's Mourinho, I'm afraid, because he will change the team tactically. He will play 9 defenders for Arsenal not to win this game. Erik ten Hag is not that kind of manager. He loves to play his style. He loves to play an open game, and you don't play an open game against Arsenal. Now, the other thing is, let's look at the quality of the Manchester United sides that have stopped Arsenal, right? And the mentality and the culture of those teams. And then you compare them to the team that we are going to play tomorrow, or the team that played against Crystal Palace just about 4 or 5 days ago. This team has Kobe Mainu, a 19-year-old, as their best midfielder. Then they have Casemiro, who has declined at a tragic rate as their backbone in defense right now. They have played Aaron Wan-Bissaka at left back. They have played Andre Onana, is definitely a very good goalkeeper in my opinion, but this is not his season, right? He's going to make mistake after mistake and mistake after mistake. We saw that against Sheffield United, although they won the game. So this is a team that doesn't have the quality at the moment, and they don't have the quality. They don't believe in themselves, and the culture around the team right now is very, very disastrous. And we've been there as Arsenal fans. It's not far away ago that before Mikel Arteta coming in, the culture at this team, when Arsenal went a goal down, game over. Liverpool could beat us 5. Man City could beat us 6, because the culture and the mentality was not there, and the quality of as well wasn't there. You look at the last 5 years, the upgrade we've made. Look at our defense. Socrates is gone, Mustafi is gone, Rob Holding is gone. All those players are gone, and they've been replaced with almost nearly world-class talents. So what Manchester United do not have is the
Yeah.
tool. They might have the spirit of the rivalry, they might have the passion to stop Arsenal, but do they have the tools? Do they have the resources that are sufficient enough to stop this Arsenal side? I don't think so. I think we might see a result like we did against Chelsea, because even Chelsea wanted to stop Arsenal, but do they have the minerals? Do they have the players to stop this Arsenal side? Do they have the structure to stop this Arsenal side? I don't think Manchester United do, even if they wanted to.
In their last 8 games, Manchester United have won one. And remember
Yeah.
that game is against a relegated side, a side that was
Sheffield
the last.
United.
Yes, the last on the table. They have
Sure.
drawn a couple of games, drawn with even with the likes of Burnley at Old Trafford, drawn with Bournemouth. They were beaten by Bournemouth, sorry, and also they lost to the likes of Crystal Palace 4 goals to nil. This gives Arsenal fans and also Arsenal as a team, as a unit, an edge to go and thrash Man United goals. If there's one, um, for me, there are a lot of things in football that make me feel bad about Arsenal. Three of them is the loss in UEFA Champions League 2006 against Barcelona. 2011, we lost Carling Cup final against Birmingham. I remember Lolo Koscielny and Logic Szczesny making a mistake of Befeni Martin scoring that game.
Yeah.
But the third one that even pains me is an 8-2 thrashed by Man United. That it always pains me. Do you think it is time for Arsenal to go there and thrash them, to at least give the fans something to enjoy, something to banter Man United with?
Well, I tell you, it's a high pressure game, and I think with Manchester United, the advantage they got during that season is that they found us in a very, very poor state. I think it was Frimpong in midfield who eventually gets a red card, and then
Yeah.
everything falls and everything falls apart. But the advantage is that it was at the beginning of the campaign, and remember, after that, Arsenal go to the market and bring in a couple of quick signings on deadline day. So
Yeah.
I think this is a very different atmosphere, and Mikel Arteta's instructions will be go out there and be safe, get the 3 points. If we can get the 3 points by halftime, be as safe as possible. So I don't think this is a game where Mikel is going to open up just to crucify Manchester United. But for me, if you ask me, if there is a gift I want from this campaign, it's to hit Manchester United 5 and above, because we have everything we need to hit them 5 and above. We have every single resource we need. We have every single reason to. They're the worst team for me among the big six at the moment. They're the worst team.
Yeah.
They're the worst team. So defensively, in midfield, you can dominate them. You can create chances against them. They're conceding 18 shots on average per game. 18 shots. Like, if you concede 18 shots against Bournemouth, Sheffield, and Burnley, Arsenal are more clinical, but I'm far more creative than Bournemouth, Sheffield, and Burnley. So there is a possibility that Arsenal will have around 30 shots on goal if we are serious, if we turn up like we turned up against Bournemouth in the first 30 minutes. So if we have 30 shots on goal and we can do a good job and be clinical and just finish 7 or 8 of them, I would be massively happy. I would be really, really happy. But I think the atmosphere of this game and the emotions will actually change. I won't be surprised with a 1-0 1-0 win or a 2-0 win, because I don't expect it to start in high gear. I think Arsenal and Mikel will be a little bit cautious to see what Man United want to throw at us. Do they want to quickly start the game at a high tempo, or do they want to sit back? When we find that they want to sit back, then we'll try to break them down. And I know they'll play on the break. They'll want to sit back in shape and play on the break. So if that is it, I don't think it's going to be an open end-to-end game. And maybe that's where it ends 3-0. But if they try to open up, just go for it, right? If there is any chance that they play like West Ham, 6-0 is in order.
In the last couple of games, Mikel Arteta have not changed his lineup against Chelsea, against Bournemouth. Should he stick with the same lineup against Man United on Sunday on that left back position? If Juran Timber is available, maybe he can come up and he can start, or should he still maintain his first 11 team against United?
Well, there's a discussion to be had. There's a popular theory in football that you don't change a winning side. You don't have a reason to change the winning side. And I think that really works into what Mikel Arteta would love to, would love to follow, because the last time we changed our winning side was against Aston Villa, and we dropped unnecessary points. For me, if we play a defensive midfielder alongside Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard, we didn't need to make the changes. We would have still won that game, and it would have been all right. So I don't think he changes this team, and I wouldn't really advocate to change for this team. Now, the one change I would make, if Timber was fit, I would play him in this game. I would really, really do, because this is a Man United side that have an Aaron Van Bissaka. He can do a good job against Saka. He can really, really do a good job against any winger, by the way, in the
Yeah,
world. So I want
yeah,
both of our flanks to be working, and I think Mikel Arteta spoken about it, on one of the press conferences, and he said we don't have those partnerships on the left hand side like you have the partnership of Ben White, Saka,
exactly.
and Odegaard on the right hand
Yeah,
side. So I would love to have uh, both flanks working very well. So I would play Julian Timber or even Alexander Zichenko ahead of Tomiyasu, just for us to have an avenue on the left hand side, right? If they play Diego Dallo on the left hand side, or Aaron Van Bissaka, if they play anyone who's played against, out of position, that is the player we have to target. If they play Dalot at left back, you target him. If they play Bisaka at left back out of position, that is who you target. So I would definitely say one or two changes in midfield. Partey, Odegaard, Declan Rice. I wouldn't change that. Up top, Saka, Trossard, maybe, and Kai Havertz. I wouldn't change that. I would love to see Gabriel Martinelli because of his sharp pace, but then I think Trossard is very clinical. This is a game where Arsenal will get their chances. I want a clinical finisher, to get those chances. And that's why I think Trossard is the much better player. Maybe I would just play an Alexander Zichenko, or a Jolene Timber, just to add to that, fluidity on the left hand side. Because we know Declan Rice has done a good job there. We also know Trossard can do a good job there. Just to add that element of of a supportive fullback.
My issue here with Zinchenko is when he comes in on the left side, is he has that habit on inversion and coming to the midfield and making Gabriel Magalhaes to be exposed. Depending on who start on the right side of Man United, if it's Garnacho, he got a lot of pace, and if Zinchenko invert, don't you think it will be a little bit trouble for us in defense because of the pace of Garnacho? If it is me, I think I would still stand with Tomiyasu, because Tomiyasu is good defensively. He has done a good job defensively. I still think I would start with with Tomiyasu. We are going to talk about on the left back position, and if we are going to bring back Tierney, then in a couple of minutes. And I want us now, I guess we have tackled probable lineup. For me, I also think I would stick with the same lineup, and the left back position is the place that I want us to talk now. Do you think we should bring back Tierney, or should we now that because I don't think Timber is a left back. I think at Ajax was playing at centre back. Do you think we should bring back Tierney, or should we sell Tierney and bring in somebody who can play on that position, who is a national left back position?
Well, I'm going to make a prediction for you. Arsenal are going to play Julian Timber at left back for the next 6-7 years. That is going to be, unless he picks up an injury, he's going to play at left back for the next 6-7 years. So I think again, football is evolving and changing. You look at Pep Guardiola right now, and you look at Mikel Arteta. I want you to look at the defenders that Mikel Arteta has signed ever since he came in at Arsenal, and ask yourself how many of them are centre backs. So Ben White was a centre back, Julian Timber was a centre back, Gabriel Magalhaes centre back. He brought back Saliba, of course, who was signed by, I think, Unai Emery, but that is a centre back as well. Jakub Kivior is also a centre back. So he has signed 5 centre backs and one full back in Alexander Zichenko. What that shows you is that he prefers a player that is actually more all round as compared to an only fullback, right? So I don't think we're going to chase the likes of Jeremy Frimpong, the likes of Alex Grimaldo, the likes of I've seen Arsenal being linked with Enori at Wolves. I don't think we're going to sign that kind of a player. Today, Fabrizio Romano has said that Arsenal are really, working to sign Jarell Hato at Ajax. Now, why do we want to Jarell Hato? We want Jarell Hato because he can play your Nathan Ake, he can be your John Stones, and he can play in Emmanuel Akanji role, the same as Ben White. I think it's going to be more of Mikel Arteta getting in a centre back that can actually turn into a left back. Look at Josko Gvardiol, one of the best centre backs for Croatia, one of the best centre backs at the World Cup that has just concluded, and one of the best centre backs in Europe last year. And Pep Guardiola has just turned him into a left back, and he's actually doing all right. So I don't think we are going to sign a left back for TNA. I think he's going to go. I don't see him coming back at Arsenal. I don't see him getting a new role at Arsenal, right? I mean, you look at what Mikel is trying to achieve with Jakub Kiwior. He knows that if you play Jakub Kiwior, he will be able to invert with to form a back three, and then you can allow your Ben White to bomb forward. And when you have Julian Timber back, it means you can be able to invert with two players. Ben White, who has been really good at inverting this season, and then Julian Timber, who we know is naturally very good at that. Or at times, you can be able to change in-game tactics, just there and then. We have seen Arsenal blocked from the right-hand side, because teams know that is where our power is. We create from there, we score goals from there, and we attack from there. So the idea of Mikel Arteta is that if I can have a Julian Timber, I can let him form a back three, right? While Ben White pushes forward. If a team is blocking us on the right hand side, Ben White, who's a centre back naturally, will come back and form a back three, and then Julian Timber will invert forward, and then we can start creating chances from the left hand side. So I don't think we're going to sign a fullback. I see what Mikel Arteta is trying to do, and I see what Pep has tried to do as well. I don't think the future of fullbacks in at the topmost game, at the highest level of football, is actually very bright. Fullbacks are going to stay, like you see, Burnley, right? They rely on counterattacks. Tottenham, they play a very, very high line. So they're going to be more of wing backs, right? You look at Leverkusen this season, Jeremy Frimpong, the right back, has scored around 13 to 14 goals. Like, that is, for a right back, that is crazy. But what is actually crazier is that Alex Grimaldo, and the other fullback, has had almost the same impact, as Frimpong. So they've been scoring a lot of goals and creating a lot of chances. What does that tell you? That tells you that for a guy who wants to be safe, like Mikel Arteta, that is not what he's going to do. That is not what he's interested in. So I think we're going to sign a centre back, and we'll turn him into a fullback.
Let's get into midfield and talk about Thomas Partey. You saw the other day Jorginho signing a new contract. Actually, I don't know, you are going to combine this one and tell me if you are happy that Jorginho signed a new contract, or you should have released him and get some few dollars out of him. Now, my worry here is Thomas Partey. Would you still maintain Thomas Partey, knowing the likes of Bruno Guimaraes are out there and willing to come to Arsenal? Or would you sell Thomas Partey to Juventus or Saudi Arabia and get the few pounds out of Thomas Partey, considering his record in injury?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I think the Jorginho decision is a very bright decision. What Jorginho brings to this Arsenal side is much different. I think in the dressing room, I think he affects more of the things that we don't see rather than those ones that we see. But also, I've got to say this, Jorginho is a more reliable and durable player than Thomas Partey. He will play more games at his older age than Thomas Partey, because Partey has become injury prone. So it's a very good decision, because Partey and Jorginho, if you combine both of them, you're not going to get one young player that gives you both, the qualities of them too, right? So you're either going to keep both of them, or you're going to at least keep one and release one, and then you release the other, the following year. So it's a very good decision to keep them, to keep Jorginho. The new deal is a 1-year deal, which doesn't really hurt Arsenal. I love that. It's prudent. It is smart. And as I know, next season it is going to be that season. This season, yes, we were picking up from last season, but next season, if Arsenal don't win anything major, questions are going to be asked of Mikel Arteta, and questions are going to be asked of this team as well. So Jorginho, for me, stays as one of the prime leaders at this team, and one of the best defensive midfielders, by the way, we have in the team, especially in games where Arsenal have a lot of possession and it's about controlling and distribution. Very good, caretaker of the ball in games where you feel like Partey should be withdrawn and just want to govern the ball and keep momentum. You can bring him in, so it's a very good decision. With Thomas Partey, I have two perspectives with Partey. My problem with Partey is that this season, the injuries, he's literally played 10 games, less than 10 games. I'm not really sure. So if he's going to be that, if he's going to be that unreliable, then I'm sorry. In a season where you're going to be going 8 games in the Champions League group stages now instead of 6, in a season where you're going to be playing 38 games in the Premier League, where you need to be nearly perfect every single game, you've got to bring in a more reliable number 6, right? You've got to go and look at your Joao Palhinha. You've got to go and look at your maybe Bruno Guimaraes if they're available, because Partey isn't reliable. But if the medical team, and I'm saying if the medical team is sure that the injury problems of Thomas Partey have been dealt with extensively, I would keep him for 2 more years. I tell you, Baba, I don't think that the quality of Thomas Partey is out there in academies. He's a very complete number 6, a bit of traditional and a mixture of modern ball progression. His ball progression is up to the top, and then his his ability to break play and win the ball back is also top notch. Like, I don't know when the world has ever produced such a defensive midfielder. Like, we've talked about so many, we have so many examples, but Partey is different. Is a very different. Even when you look at the market right now, Zubimendi, not Thomas Partey. Bruno Guimaraes, he's very good going forward, but defensively, not at the level of Thomas Partey. Joao Palhinha picks up yellow cards. Like, he can pick up 13 yellow cards in a season. Partey wins the ball back and progresses the ball and governs the midfield without picking up so many yellow cards. So you think about all the defensive midfielders around the world, and you're like, Partey is a special player. And because he's a special player, I'll be willing to keep him, but only if the injuries can be dealt with and minimized.
So as for me, I also think if he can manage his injuries, and if Arsenal can manage him properly, and maybe he can give us at least that games a season. Because if you want to win a league, nobody out there is that good like Thomas Partey, Zubimendi, like you have mentioned, and Palhinha. Guimaraes is good, but for me, I also see him getting a lot of cards, and sometimes he loses his discipline. Something that it's with some of these Brazilian players. And also, if you want to win the league, you don't go get somebody out there with at least that experience, and don't bring another Nketiah in the team, don't bring another Smith, don't bring another Nelson in the team, or Egyptian Messi in terms of Mohamed El Neni. Now, Frank de Jong, I saw somewhere Frank de Jong being mentioned and rumored that Arsenal are interested with him. Would you still bring Frank de Jong, or would you rather have Guimaraes in your team?
The future of that Arsenal number 6 is very interesting, and it's going to be very interesting what we do with them with that position this summer. I like Frankie de Jong very much. I really, really do. But when I look at his ability to win the ball back, I would rather play him alongside a very good defensive midfielder. I would play him in the Declan Rice position, and that position is already taken. I think Declan Rice is further forward. Is going to be playing as now our number 8. I think the best days of Frankie de Jong were at Ajax when he played alongside Donny van de Beek and Edson Alvarez. By that time, Edson Alvarez was one of the best ball-winning midfielders, in Europe, right? And I thought Arsenal should have signed him then, but eventually he goes to West Ham, and I hope he actually, has a very good career there, because I really, really like him as a player, and I rate him. So with Frankie, I don't rate him as a pure number 6, and I don't think the Premier League would be, an easier fit for him if he changed position from that kind of creative number 8 to a deep lying number 6. Now, in terms of him doing a Jorginho role, distribution, picking up the ball and taking care of it, he's one of the best caretakers of the ball. I can guarantee you that. And also, he's one of the players that can create a lot of chances from deeper areas. But apart from that, his defensive game, you cannot trust it. So Bruno Guimaraes is the guy you would go for. And of course, Newcastle fans have told us that Bruno Guimaraes is actually a number 8, not a number 6. So there's a dilemma there. Is he a number 8? Is he number 6? But at Lyon, when he played alongside the likes of Hausemoa and Paqueta, he played more of a defensive role, and he actually did it very well. I think because he's Brazilian, he's got a lot to offer. He's a talent. He's a real talent, and his attacking prowess is actually very good. But I would say if Arsenal are sure Mikel Arteta can instill that discipline in Guimaraes to sit in that pivot and remain central and allow space for Declan Rice and Odegaard to operate into in front of him, I think he would be the much better player. Physical, knows the Premier League, very intelligent, and he can chip in with a couple of goals because Partey did bomb one against Tottenham last season, which was absolutely which was beautiful. So I would love to see a Bruno Guimaraes. I think he fits better into that next Thomas Partey, next Thomas Partey role as compared to Frankie De Jong.
We have a few topics to cover, so because of time, you have a show later, right?
Yeah, I have a show later on.
Okay. So because of time, let me go to transfers, and we focus on the main thing that we need as Arsenal fans. We need a striker out there. So, we are linked with the likes of Victor Gyokeres, who was at Coventry, then now in Portugal. Alexander Isak is there as well. We know how he did in Spain. We know how he is doing in Liga EPL. Oli Watkins is another one who actually scores against us. We have Rashford. I don't know if he is a makeshift centre back or if he is an out and out striker. Wherever it is, we are linked with Rashford as well, Zakizi, and also Victor Osimhen. Out of the few strikers that we are linked with, who do you think can come and change our game? Remember, we have Jesus. He is not that centre forward that we want. Jesus is an out and out striker. Sometimes he drop deep to get the ball. Sometimes he's on the right. Sometimes he's the left. Who among these strikers that we are linked with do you think can come to Arsenal, do the job and make other players getting better? The likes of Odegaard, the likes of Bukayo, and the likes of Martinelli. Who among the few do you think can come? And before you answer, for me, I think before you answer, for me, if I was to pick anybody, I would have gone with the Lautaro Martinez of Inter Milan.
Yeah, I like Lautaro Martinez. I really do. He's a quality player. Like I love his consistency. By the way, at the topmost level, he's done brilliantly, especially in Italy. Now, for me, I think what we want at Arsenal and the way we play is that we play in a way that you don't have one player to rely on any aspect. So you look at the way we press, you look at the way we attack, you look at the way we defend. Kai Havertz is one of the players that are leading in terms of successful duels in this Arsenal team. And even when his season was not yet attackingly decorated, he was still putting in the shift and the work defensively, winning the ball back, pressing, and making sure that Arsenal will the ball back as high up the pitch as possible. So I think the first quality that we need in this Arsenal side, the first quality that we cannot lose, we need a selfless player. We need someone who's willing to work hard and work hard for the team. So when you ask me, of all those players who actually works hard and works hard for the team, I would say Victor Gyokeres works hard and he works hard for the team. I'll say Isak works hard and works hard for the team. And I say Osimhen as well works hard and works hard for the team. So for me, those three would definitely be among my priorities. I think for me, Watkins is a quality player. I really like him, but I'm not really 100% convinced about him. And I don't think he's going to be moving this summer. He's just signed a new deal at Aston Villa. He's getting older. I doubt Arsenal will want to invest a lot of money in a guy who is 29, clocking to around 30 very soon. So I still think that Arsenal will still go for someone younger, 24 to 26 years of age, around there. So if we can get someone who is selfless, works a lot, especially off the ball, then we want someone who has the discipline to be in the penalty area. That is one thing we don't have. And I was looking at the Bayern Munich game, and I was like, if we had a striker that is just in the penalty area for us to put balls into there, this Bayern side are not defensively good. I mean, like Eric Dyer, Matthias De Ligt, Kim has struggled a little bit as well. That Upamecano has struggled a little bit as well this season. Because you don't have that Harry Kane, because you don't have that real centre forward, you're not going to expose them. You're not going to create problems for them like you would have wanted to. So I want a striker that is always going to be keeping the the center backs busy of the opponent, and also when we are in attack, he's going to be in the penalty area waiting for that chance. Lastly, I want a clinical finisher. Now that actually zeroes down, the list. Clinical finisher. Gyokeres has done it, but has he done it for a significant point, or time for me to say he's one of the world-class talents? Just 2 seasons, one at Coventry, one at Sporting Lisbon. I wouldn't really undermine him, but I wouldn't have him as my number one. Osimhen has done it in Italy. He's done it in France as well, and I think he's one of the progressive strikers. So if I was to sign one player for 100 million, Osimhen would be among those players. I think he's reached a level where you can trust him to get you 18 goals every single campaign without penalties. The other player I would go for is and this is a little bit contradictory, but I like Alexander Isak. My problem with Isak, injuries, right? He's suffered an injury, a significant injury, every single season for the last 5 years. And we already have our problems with injuries. Jesus, Gabriel Martinelli at times, we have our problems with injuries. But I think Osimhen, Isak, those would be the two if Arsenal are willing to spend huge amounts of money. But if we are willing to spend around 60 to 75, then I think it's Victor Gyokeres. Because Romano was saying that Arsenal will spend on a striker, but it's going to depend on their budget. How much they're willing to go out there and spend is going to determine who actually comes in and brings in, who actually comes in. So if it's 60 to 75 million, I think Gyokeres is that guy that would actually, give you the quality. But if you actually, if you're looking to spend upwards of 90 million, you can go for someone who has done it. You can go for someone like, an Isak. You can go for someone like, an Osimhen. Isak has been in the Premier League. But my number one priority for striker, I'm not going to lie, I think he's in form. Gyokeres is in form, right? And I'll give him the respect, but I would still go for Alexander Isak. Premier League proven, he scored more goals than expected this season. And I think if you take away the penalties from his game and you feed him and you surround him with Odegaard, Rice, and more quality players that Arsenal like Arsenal have, it's a much better. That would be a much better attack for us.
An Arsenal fan here, Shiko Belanini, is asking what will happen to Kinkai if we get that clinical striker.
Well, listen, the plan, the plan right from the start, and I don't think this has changed. The Athletic revealed the plan for Mikel Arteta, and it was to play Kai Havertz in that Thomas Muller role, kind of a Rome Doita. Now, I don't think that Arsenal are playing that 4-3-3 system, like people want to say. I think football has evolved. I think Mikel Arteta has really evolved into playing systems, different systems across games. One thing we have seen with Kai is that if you play him up top as a player, as a striker, he will get you, his own advantages. But if you played him alongside another player, a player that can allow him get into space unnoticed, he's a much more difficult player to track. He's a much better player at in terms of investigating and ghosting into spaces. So I still think Kai Havertz's role at Arsenal is not over. He stays in the midfield. He will stay in that team. I still think that Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard are going to be the pillars of the Arsenal midfield. Kind of what you've seen with Bayern Munich do. They've always had two good midfielders, and then they've added Muller and then another striker. And I've always told people that just look at Muller. Muller and Kai Havertz are like this. Very, very similar players. But whenever Bayern have had a successful season for Thomas Muller, they've had a prolific striker alongside him. Mario Mandzukic, Mario Gomez, Robert Lewandowski, Harry Kane now, and it's going to continue. So I think you get a striker, you make Kai Havertz better.
Absolutely, because I was looking at Bayern Munich with the Muller and how the goals and contribution, how much Muller has made the likes of Lewandowski and Mandzukic to look better because of him, and he improved them a lot. We have two things to settle, to tackle. I want us first of all to check I want you to tell me your combined 11 on Manchester United against Arsenal on Sunday. Do you think there's anybody on that Manchester side that can come in and sit any of our first 11 players?
Well, this season there is a big debate to be had. If there are any Man United fans out there, they would think still they would get one player or two. I've seen a few combined 11s out there, and most of them are focusing on Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainu, and Marcus Rashford. And I think most of them don't want to base it purely on this campaign, because if it's this campaign, there are very few teams that would have 2-3 players in this Arsenal team. Very few, honestly, very few. We have a Golden Glove winning goalkeeper. We have the best centre backs in the world, in Europe at the moment. And then the midfield, untouchable. But if I was to do my combined 11, I would go with David Raya. I think he has made less mistakes as compared to Andre Onana. Both of them are very good ball-playing goalkeepers, and even in a very, very bad system, I still think that Andre Onana has tried to play out from the back. So I will go with David Raya because of the mistakes, right? Both of them have a very similar playing style. They've come into a new side, into the Premier League. Of course, Raya from Brentford, but new club, new system, new culture. And you look at how Raya has actually, advanced. And he has, copped up, and how Andre Onana has struggled a little bit until that point in the season where he has kind of leveled up. I think Raya has done a much better job for Arsenal. It's one of the reasons as to why we are competing right now. Right back, I don't think there's a question. Aaron Wan-Bissaka this season has not performed at the level, and I don't think they've had a consistent. They don't have a consistent right back like Arsenal have had Ben White. For Ben White, I would vote him right back of the Premier League this season. He's been absolutely consistent in terms of playing football, but also in terms of being available. At left back, if they had a left back, by the way, I would give them a left back. But the problem is that they have the same problem. We've not had a consistent left back. They've not had a consistent left back as well. So still, at left back, I'm not really sure. I'm going to leave the left back for you. Which one would you go for? Because they played Dalot there, we played Kvyat there, and Zinchenko. So which one would you choose?
This is a funny question because I was looking at the left backs at the top maybe top 6 teams. Liverpool left back position, they have struggled as well because Robertson has been missing with a lot of injuries. Newcastle, they have a lot of injuries on that front of left back. They have done a lot of makeshift. Chelsea, no words about Chelsea with injuries this season on the left. On Arsenal as well. Man United, City, they have no natural left back. Glavia has been playing on that side. And then sometimes Ake, sometimes Akanji. You never know. So on that left back position, if Luke Shaw was fit, I would have gone with Luke Shaw. But now because he is not fit, I don't know if I'll just give them Dalot or I'll stay with
I'll just give them Dalot because true. You just give them Dalot. You just give them Dalot because I think Dalot has adapted to that left back position than anyone at Manchester United. And I don't think we have had satisfying performances from our left backs. Tomiyasu has been in and out. Kivio, at times he had a good game, at times didn't have a good game. And then you look at, I think you would give them Diego Dalot, right? At centre back, it is
Yeah,
unmatched. It is unchallenged. No questions there. Now, in
no
midfield,
questions.
most of them have said Bruno and Kobe Maino, and I would hear them because they're having a very poor season. They've had a sensational talent, in Kobe Maino, sensational player. But does Kobe Maino really come close to this Arsenal side? I don't really think so. I think it would be an overhype of a player. I think he's a sensational talent. Like, he reminds me of those days when we had Arsene Wenger, and he would just bring up a kid, Samuel Nasri, Wilshere, Ramsey, and you're like, wow, this kid is fire. But in midfield, still, I'm going to go with Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard. I'll give them Bruno Fernandes. I really, really give them Bruno Fernandes because he's been kind of it's been kind of I don't know, the only player they have had this season, the only consistent player they've had this season. So I'll give them Declan Rice. And also the reason as to why I'll give them Declan is because there's been a development in Jorginho. He started off the season a little bit poor against Tottenham, struggled a little bit, and then he grew into the season comfortably, and then Partey has not really played. So I'll play Declan Rice, defensive midfield, and two attacking midfielders in Bruno and Odegaard. Up top, I wouldn't really give Manchester United anyone. Now, I will consider Garnacho. And anyone should consider Garnacho because Garnacho this season has been more of your breakout star. That's what I would say, right? Of course, we saw him last campaign, but I would still call him a breakout star. He's been sensational, scoring worldies for Man United, scoring goals when they need them, creating chances when they need them. And if you factor into the fact that he earns significantly less than Marcus Rashford, he was bought for what, free, as compared to this guy Anthony, who has one goal in the Premier League.
One goal, one
Yeah,
assist.
one goal, one assist in the Premier League for 100 million or 90 million, whatever. I would
Yeah.
still, I would consider him, right? I would consider him. So Saka is untouchable, and Kai Havertz, because for me, Kai has had a much better season than Rasmus Holland. Obviously, Rasmus Holland picked up that injury, and as a number 9, he's not received any kind of service that a number 9 would love to receive from your creative players. But Kai Havertz, Saka, those two are untouchable. So I'm going to pose to you a question: would you go with Garnacho, or would you go with one of Martinelli or Trossard?
It's a tricky one because Garnacho has 7 goals this season. Trossard, I guess, has 9 also. And
Actually,
apart from
Trossard has 11.
11 goals, Garnacho has 7
Yeah.
goals. Then that's why we go for Trossard because he has been very clinical. When he gets the chance, he got that
Yeah,
a little.
sure.
You don't have that pace that you want like Martinelli. But when he gets those chances, he is good. He can dribble. That's why I would go for for Trossard because some people even drop deep to come to get the ball. He comes back to assist White on that wing. That's why I would prefer to go for. I'm not saying this because I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'm saying based on statistics this season, I would still go with Trossard. And again, Trossard has played few minutes than
Yeah. Than Garnacho and Martinelli combined.
Garnacho. Yeah, and he actually managed to get 11 goals in this season. That's why I would still stick with Trossard up in my front three with Saka, Trossard, and Kai Havertz. Now, the question I have for you, and probably this is the last question: who is your player of the season? I've seen a lot of people saying they had already given out the list. And I saw VVD is there, Virgin van Dijk. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why. I saw some critics trying to criticize Saliba, saying Saliba was not there because of experience. And I wonder why. What sometimes it's not about experience. Statistics says. So, who would you go as your player of the season? Palmer, Haaland, Rice. whoever is there, the six, at least 6 or 8 players. Who
Yeah,
would you?
I think there are around 8 players. Actually, there are a couple of nominations I don't agree with. Virgil van Dijk is one of them. I think he has been remarkably good, given the fact that he had a big step down last season,
Mhm.
so he has come back to a good standard, but not to
Yeah.
player of the season. Like, not player of the season. I would put him maybe in the team of the season if they want to, but if for me, I'm not going to say this, if Gabriel Magalhaes doesn't make it to that list, so is Virgil van Dijk. He has been one of the best centre backs, Gabriel, this season. He has been remarkable this season, right? And Arsenal have done much better than Liverpool in terms of chasing Man City and in terms of taking the title race and making it entertaining. I don't. We've considered fewer goals, away and at home. I don't see how our centre backs are not mentioned, and then VVD is there. I really don't agree with that. Second one is Erling Haaland. Yes, he's scored a couple of goals, and he's got really, really many goals. But for me, Erling Haaland, player of the season, no. I don't. I don't know why he's there. I don't know why he is nominated. It is just. I think it's just about goals, and that is what we have seen with recent performances in Ballon d'Ors and FIFA Player of the Year. As long as you have so many
Yeah.
goals, 60 goals, 70 goals, you win Player of the Year. But you ask yourself how the likes of Eden Hazard during their spells, they've not been
Never,
recognized,
never.
and because it's
Yes.
about goals. So for me, Haaland and Virgil van Dijk, I wouldn't consider them. Now I would also only consider 3 players for Player of the Year. Cole Palmer at Chelsea, going in there from Manchester City. Chelsea have been one of the inconsistent sides in the Premier League. They have been good for a whole month and then very poor for 3 months, losing to Sheffield, losing to Burnley, and then they come and beat, they come and beat Tottenham. So they have been very
Tottenham.
inconsistent. But Cole Palmer has been consistent, scoring goals, of course, taking penalties for them, assisting. What actually surprised me is the number of assists he's actually picked up. So he's not only scoring 20 plus goals, 21 plus, he's actually assisted more than 10 times for them in the Premier League. That is remarkable. That is like, if you compare that to the biggest Arsenal, output player, that is Saka this season. Cole Palmer is by a mile. The second player I'm going to consider is Ollie Watkins. 19 non-penalty goals. Watkins, for me, it's the underdog story. And for me, I've already said that if you're choosing team of the season, if you're choosing player of the season, it shouldn't be about Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, and Chelsea and Man United. Can Ross Barkley win it because he's having a good season at Luton? Can Justin Kluivert or Dominic Solanke win it because he's having a good season at Bournemouth, right? So for me,
Yeah.
Watkins is a contender. Now, I had my own struggles between Phil Foden and Declan Rice, and I think Declan Rice has had a fantastic season, remarkable season. If Arsenal win it, I think I would put Declan Rice among the contenders. If City win it, I would put Phil Foden as the outright winner. But for me, my player of the season, I would consider Palmer, I'd consider Foden, I'd consider Watkins. I think those 3 have had quite a level of performances, and I think it's Cole Palmer. We need to stop this. If they win the title, player of the year comes from there. We need the surprise element. I'd actually win unless Cole Palmer wins Young Player of the Year. If he wins Young Player of the Year, then you can give Player of the Year or Player of the Season to Watkins or Phil Foden, right? But for me, Cole Palmer, you've got to. We've all got to agree. Cole Palmer has been remarkable. Like, any team would have to have Cole Palmer in their team this season.
Vision of Man United is asking you, what about Declan Rice? Why would you not
Rice has been
consider
remarkable. Honestly, I would say this. Rice has been remarkable, and his nomination doesn't have any questions, and so is Martin Odegaard's nomination as well. Both of them have had a fantastic second, a fantastic season, especially after that trip to Dubai. But I want us to look at these players. I want you to look at Watkins. and 19 non-penalty goals. I want you to look at Cole Palmer. When he signed for Chelsea, is there anyone who said or thought that Cole Palmer would have 20 goals plus and 11, 11 assists at this part of the campaign with 3 games to
No,
go? No one thought
no.
about it. Like, that is what we call a player of the season. That is the performance of the season. Like, for Phil Foden, you can even have predicted it that he's going to play more minutes since Kevin De Bruyne is injured. But Cole
Yeah.
Palmer, he comes in and from out of nowhere, he bangs in those performances. You've got to recognize him, honestly.
The reason I would take Cole Palmer is one because Chelsea this season has been dreadful. They have
Yeah.
1 month they'll go, 2 months they are being beaten right, center, and left, right, and center. And for me, if not Cole Palmer, then I would go with Rice. I would not
Mm.
consider. Then I would go Cole Palmer, Declan Rice, then Phil Foden. One thing I will never consider, I would not consider Erling Haaland as for me as the
Mm.
player of the season. But in terms of Arsenal, player of the season, I would still consider for one that goes without a question, Declan Rice, if not Captain Fantastic Martin Odegaard. And think
Yeah,
that is that for
for
now.
us now, it's got to be Declan Rice because the 100 million price tag on his back for him to come and impact games the way he has done at Arsenal, scoring winners at Luton, scoring late winners at Luton and late winners at Manchester United, and then
Yeah,
7 goals and 7 assists. That is what Xhaka did last campaign after us working on him. This guy has just come in and done it in his first season, and we think he can do better because this left hand side has not had very good partnership. So for me, clearly, player of the season at Arsenal, no questions there.
okay. Yeah, that is that for now. And I really appreciate your time. But before I let you go, we get a little bit away from football. No, first of all, give me your prediction: Arsenal versus Man United, Tottenham versus Man City.
Arsenal versus Man United. I'm going to go strong. I'm going to keep my prediction from the podcast. I'm going to still say 4 goals to 0. I don't see them. I don't see them create a lot of problems for us unless otherwise. Now, Man City against Tottenham. I'm going to say 3 goals to 2. I think City win it. I really, really think City win it. Postecoglou is not a big fan of dealing with, goal scoring goal scoring avenues, corners, set pieces. That's where Manchester City thrive. They have built a team that scores from every part of the game. So I'm going to go 3-2 to Man City. 2-3 because City are away. 2-3. And I hope that we got into the last weekend with Manchester City 2 points ahead, and maybe David Moyes on his final day, he does a miracle.
Yeah. Maybe David Moyes on his final day, he does a miracle. City will be away or at home against West Ham?
They'll be at home against West Ham.
And also we shall be home against Everton.
Yeah, against
and
Everton.
I'll see how it goes. For me, I see us winning against Man United 3-1, just like the first leg. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet on that one. City, Tottenham, I see a draw, a 2-2 or a 3-3, because City have struggled to take points against Tottenham in the new stadium. So that's why I'm thinking of a draw. In the first leg, there was a draw of 3-3. For me, I see a draw. I see City winning against Fulham with no question. Then I see them winning against West Ham or even a draw. I don't think they'll beat West Ham too many goals like the other day. West Ham allowed 5 goals. So for me, I think if we are winning, we are going to win either with a point or goal difference. Okay, thanks a lot, Kosi, and really appreciate your time. Now, I have a question. How did you manage to get 70,000 plus subscribers? Because in a few months, you are going to take your silver button, man. For how long have you been in YouTube?
I would say since 2020.
Okay, for me it's 1 year now, and my year was in March. We are in May. 1 year, 2 months.
Mm. I think the one thing I would say, just dedicate a lot of time to YouTube, learn YouTube, not just Arsenal content, not just Arsenal, but YouTube as well as a platform. Try to learn it. Try to learn thumbnail making. Try to learn. Try to break news, the breaking stories. Try to do them, and try to be the person that is reliable. If people want to get a story, they should be able to think about you and consistently do it. Like if you do it for 1 year, trust me, you'll see a lot of changes on the channel.
Okay. I
Yeah,
appreciate
sure.
that. I'll try that one because you are doing well, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Okay, I have another show at 9, so I'll let you go so that I can prepare for the next show. I have
All right.
Man City. I have a Man City fan. Her name is she is a Man City fan. She works in one of the media station in Nairobi. Her name is Double K. So we are going to have a show with her at 9 p.m. in a couple of
Okay.
minutes to come. So I really appreciate your time and God bless you. See you on the other side of WeChat, and as we wait for Fulham maybe to surprise us, and also
Sure.
as we
Sure.
to
Thank you so much.
demolish.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching and welcoming me to the community. I appreciate. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Enjoy your evening. Wow, that was a very, very good interview with the Kosi of Arsenal podcast. He does Arsenal stars on the other side of Uganda. Yes, that is that, guys. See you in the next one at 9 p.m. We'll be having a show with Double K, a Man City fan. We are going to discuss can they drop points against Fulham? Can they drop points against West Ham? Can they drop points against Tottenham on Tuesday? Fulham tomorrow, early kickoff to that p.m. Kenyan time. Or can they drop points on the final day against West Ham? Remember, West Ham will be having a goodbye celebration for their manager who won them Conference League last season, and now he is going, enough is enough, I'm going out of West Ham. So West Ham players will be playing for their manager and also the bad. And remember what Mikel Antonio said the last time he was on the studio. He said, we want Arsenal to win. We are going to do everything possible for us to make sure Arsenal can take it if it comes to the end of the day. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate your time. My name is Babu the Pandit, Laikipia County favorite Pandit, and this is BWATV. See you next time. God bless you. And remember, this weekend, get sporty wherever you are. Baba Prophet, Ashley Klala, Vision, Shiko, Purity. I see you. Thank you for coming. Winnie Shiko. Vision kwanza ndio nataka kuanga lady. I see you as well. Vision tutakulimia kwako bana, nakulimia kwako 8-0 ama venye ulitufanya 8-2 2012 season. Sisi pia tunakuja kulipisha huko Old Trafford. Bye bye, guys. See you at 9 p.m. when we have Double K of Man United. Great job, Baba. Thank you, Shiko. Thank you, Shiko Belalin. Tupatane 9. The show was amazing. Purity, asante sana. Thank you. Remember to share, guys, and also remember to go and subscribe to my friend Kosi, the Arsenal podcast. Bye bye. See you at 9 in a couple of minutes to come as we tackle us with Double K. Arsenal, can Arsenal win it all? Can City drop the points against Spurs?
Boom.
My name is
Baba Wealth the Pandit, and this is BWATV. BWATV, we are road to 100,000 subscribers. And we also want to say a special thanks to my channel members. May God perfect that which concerns you. And also my super stickers and my super chatters, upward and forward only. BWATV, we love you. Blessings. Let's get sporty with BWATV. Boom! My name is Baba Wealth the Pandit, and this is BWATV. BWATV, we are road to 100,000 subscribers. And we also want to say a special thanks to my channel members. May God